Hello everyone, and welcome to the introduction video for a new series I will be starting for Blaster Master 1. This game will not have a config and tech or a modding video. I hope you enjoy the information and that it gives you the best Blaster Master 1 experience you can have. Any links that are covered will be in the description of the video. This game was developed by Sunsoft. Sunsoft is a Japanese developer and publisher founded in 1978. They have made lots of great games and are still around today. I think back in the day they were underappreciated as developers. The company is known for games such as Spy Hunter on the NES, Fester's Quest on the NES, which is very similar to Blaster Master in a lot of ways, Batman on the NES. Some people will name this the best game on the Nintendo system. Journey to Silius on the NES, Gremlins 2 on the NES, Lemmings on the Super NES, and Gimmick on the NES. Sunsoft had a masterful grasp on what you could do with music on the Nintendo. Their songs have really good melodies and driving drum beats. I wish just once that Capcom would have let Sunsoft score a Mega Man game. The already mentioned game called Journey to Silius, I would argue, has one of the best soundtracks on the entire Nintendo system. That's not to say that the Blaster Master soundtrack is not awesome, because it is. Naoki Kodaka has made the bulk of the memorable music in Sunsoft games. He did an amazing job with Blaster Master soundtrack. I'll put a link to a playlist of the soundtrack for the game in the description of this video. Sunsoft did at times farm out the development of some of their in-house games to other companies. This was the case for Blaster Master 2 on the Genesis, as it was made by Software Creations. I don't think most people would say that the second game was as good or better than the first. I've not played Blaster Master 2 yet myself, only seen some gameplay of it. The first game was good because Sunsoft made it, not because they had someone else make it. I don't think it's a good idea to do that with one of your flagship titles either. All that being said, I'm glad Sunsoft has survived in one way or another, and that they are still around. This game takes place on the planet Sophia the Third, and we play as a guy named Jason. I'll let the opening cutscene show you the rest when we get to it. In Japan, the game is titled Super Planetary War Chronicle Metafight. It just rolls off the tongue. There isn't much to say about the story, although it is further explained and expanded on with sequels. The American release had a little cutscene slapped on at the last minute, while the Japanese version just puts you right into the action. It was normal for games on the NES and the Super NES back in the day to put the story in the game manual. There was even a novel made about Blaster Master, no joke. Blaster Master falls into the genre of Metroidvania, having similarities to Metroid and Castlevania gameplay. I never really liked that descriptor, but everything has a subgenre these days. I'll put a Wikipedia link to Metroidvania if you would like to read about it in this video's description. There are two types of gameplay loops in Blaster Master. Vehicle mode, which is side-scrolling platforming gameplay, and then person mode, overhead run-and-gun gameplay. These modes work well together and give the game some variety. While all aspects of the game are not perfect, you can tell a lot of attention to detail was made. One of the game's developers or producers said when they made Blaster Master, they were trying to make the best-looking game on the NES at the time. The game does suffer from a lot of lag, making the platforming aspects of the game tricky at times. You find yourself under jumping or over jumping platforms and ledges. Emulation may be adding a little more than there would be on real hardware. There are also no passwords or save system unless you emulate it, which people complained about when the game came out. Understandably, I feel it should have had at least a password system. I believe the Japanese version does have unlimited continues, though. The animations and articulations of the vehicle, Sophia, you drive are well done and impressive. I'll provide a link to the YouTuber @DisplacedGamers, where he breaks down how the vehicle animates. If you are into Blaster Master or game design, I highly recommend you check out this video. I'm not going to be doing a lot of narration during the playthrough of Blaster Master 1. I will do my typical video intro and outros, and I'll chime in if I have something to say. There isn't much text to read, and I don't want to talk over all the good music. I've written up a little help document that I will provide a link to in the description of the Gameplay Part 1 video. It will be a .txt file on my Google Drive for you to reference if watching or playing for yourself. It contains information about area progression, abilities, and bosses. There are some mods available for this game. I just won't be using any in this playthrough. If you would like to check them out, please see the link in the description. The genre this game falls into is action platformer / run and gun. And How Long to Beat says this game takes roughly 4 hours to 6 hours to complete. I'd like to cover the releases by year with you. So the first game we have here is the one we'll be playing, Blaster Master 1, which came out on the Nintendo in 1988. Then we have Blaster Master Boy, which came out on the Nintendo Game Boy in 1992. The non-color Game Boy. I always kind of called it black and white, but it was really like black and green. But the original Game Boy. Then we have Blaster Master 2, which came out on the Genesis in 1993. Then we have Blaster Master Enemy Below. This came out on the Nintendo Game Boy Color in the year 2000. Then Blaster Master Blasting Again. This came out on the PlayStation 1 in 2001. And I believe this is a full 3D game. Third person, like you see your, just like in the original NES, but that's a side scroller. But Blasting Again, I believe, is full 3D. Then Blaster Master Overdrive, and this came out on the Nintendo WiiWare in 2010. Then we have a collection of 3 games here, starting with the first one called Blaster Master Zero 1. This came out on the Nintendo 3DS in 2017. Kind of considered, I guess, a reboot to the series, like a remake of the NES version. Then Blaster Master Zero 2, which came out on the Nintendo Switch in 2019. Then Blaster Master 3 came out on the Nintendo Switch in 2021. Then there's also a release titled Blaster Master Zero Trilogy. This is on the Nintendo Switch, and this is only on the Japanese system. And this came out in 2021 also. I don't know how the text, there's probably voice acting in those games, I would assume, in text. I'm not sure if there's English text and voice. You'd have to research that. But it is a way to get all 3 games on one purchase. I've only ever played and beat Blaster Master 1 on the NES. Sadly, no Blaster Master games ever came out for the Super Nintendo. I am interested in checking out the other games in the series in the future, though. If and when I get to the Blaster Master Zero series, I will most likely be playing the PC Steam versions. And as stated, the Blaster Master Zero trilogy is a Japanese release only. Probably cost a pretty penny. So in the next video, we'll be getting straight into the gameplay. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.